Your hockey day in San Jose comes to conclusion right here. It is Saturday night. Wait, what am I doing? I have the perfect intro guy to do it. What am I doing? Kevin, what? Oh, come on.
It's Saturday, March 10th. It's hockey day in San Jose. And sure, it started off kind of crummy with one team getting shut out, but it ended up in a just fine, fantastic, glorious fashion as the other team got the shutout. This is Teal Town After Dark. This is the Barracuda version, which means this is the happy show. The Barracuda won 4-0 over the Cleveland Monsters, and we are your only post-game show for AHL action. I'm Kevin Lacey. Joining me is Puck Guy 14, Eric Cura. Eric, back to you. How are you doing?
I'm good. It's crazy to do two After Darks in one day. It's rarity, folks, but we're here. It's hockey day in San Jose, so we had to give some Barracuda some love. And Kevin, 8,046 people showed the Barracuda love tonight too.
Yeah, it was a fantastic crowd. Definitely a franchise record crowd. You know, usually when the attendance totals are coming out for this team, they are, you basically multiply it by 10. And I don't know if they hit 8,000, but I'm just going to say yes, because I want to believe it was 8,000. And if it wasn't, 7,500 is honestly, it's a backed guess. So way to show your support for the Barracuda tonight, fans. Obviously the black jerseys, we both have our black jerseys, our various black jerseys on. I can actually grab the one if you want. But jerseys aside, y'all got to see some fantastic hockey. Unlike most sequels, the sequel to last night's game was every bit as good. It was awesome. So I'm glad to be on this show.
Yeah, definitely great to have you. I mean, one of the rare times I'm able to get to enjoy an AHL game on the screen live and everything. So, but yeah, let's take a look at this jersey here. That's and if you have like one of the Giants mashup or the Warriors mashup jerseys, it's pretty similar. But yeah, that looks pretty solid.
Yeah, I'm impressed. I thought the material was going to be super flimsy, but it's a pretty nice lightweight jersey, and nice. Everybody was wearing this thing except for like me and my orange, but pretty much everybody was wearing this jersey tonight, and it was really cool. The fans really got into the game, and that's all you can ask. So,
yes. To answer Felix's question, how the hell did Puck Guy get to watch the CUDA game on the screen? Yeah, it was AHL Live. That's the only way I could do it. I paid the $7.99 for the game.
I'm glad it was money well spent, dude.
Yeah, no. In fact, because of everything that's been going on with me, I had a ticket and graciously gave it to Kevin to go in my place. So cheers to you for bringing the good luck, of course. So
it was a turtleneck.
Yes, it's always a turtleneck. I can't wait for the Rally Teal turtleneck to come on come playoff time.
Yeah, it hasn't actually since I know we're getting on to a side tangent here, but last year everyone kept saying on these shows, get the teal turtleneck, and I finally got one. I don't think I've worn it once this season on the show. It's coming. But let's get into the game, man, because especially for those who weren't able to attend, there was a lot to talk about.
Yeah, definitely. And to kind of backtrack from last night's game, they won 6-2 over Cleveland. You had Chartier take a big hit, but he played tonight. Unfortunately, Haluka took a big hit, and he didn't, correct?
That's correct. Sorry, I'm eating dinner as
that's fine,
but because that's apparently my new thing this season. Yeah, Alex Shaneborn drew into the lineup for Adam Haluka, and he looked very good. Here's a kid who was a third-round pick, one of the many that I said Victor Arvidsson should have been drafted over. But Alex Shaneborn, barely getting playing time even at the Allen Americans, got called up a couple weeks, has just been sitting up in the upstairs seating, not playing, finally draws in. He was very good. He really was. But hopefully Adam Haluka can get back at some point this season. It looked really bad. For those of you, if you missed the show last night, he was just brutally hit from behind, face first in the glass, just dropped into a heap, face down on the ice, motionless. His arms were limp. It was awful. So hopefully a speedy recovery. I am trying to get an injury update. Paul Gackle is going to try and help me with that. So hopefully we'll have an update for you soon.
Good to hear. Good to hear. So the first period, you had no scoring, but you definitely had plenty of chances from the looks of it. And then you got some rough stuff at 11:38 the period with Cleveland's Cale Kessie and Calvin. Oh boy,
Turcoff. Wait, Calvin? Don't you mean Kevin? No, that's a side note.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Along with Emerson Clark, Zach Fry, who I think played pretty solid, and he's been solid, I think.
Yeah. The two, especially he looked more comfortable tonight. He made his professional debut last night. I thought he really got his legs moving and didn't shy away from the super physical first period. It carried over from last night's game, guys.
Yeah. So they got a little rough and tumbling along with typical, I would think. But overall, what did you take from the first
period? Really great tempo, especially for AHL, which obviously is a step down from the NHL, but you usually can notice it as well in the speed of the game. Not that it's a slow game, just it's not at the NHL quickness. But the tempo was crazy. There was not a whole lot of offense. Outside of Nathan Gerbe had 3 great chances for the Monsters in the first period, which is weird. This game really was like an identical sequel to last night, where Nathan Gerbe dominated the first period and then was completely invisible the rest of the game. And in this, and then the Barracuda got the momentum and carried it forward for the rest of the night. And tonight, there wasn't a whole lot going on outside of just hits and punishment in the first, and Nathan Gerbe getting a bunch of chances, and he was invisible the rest of the game again. So,
you get some of those chances early on, and then all of a sudden, goes away. Yeah. Second period, that's when things started to gain some steam. Although the Cleveland, I almost want to say Barons, just because I'm so used to.
I keep wanting to say Lake Erie Monsters,
right? It's like I wanted to say Barons because it just used to always roll off like that. The Monsters got into a couple of penalty troubles, but the Cuda couldn't get a chance. However, Manuel Wiederer. Yes.
Good job. It's Wiederer, but
Wiederer.
Nice. Wiederer passes. So
all right. He gets his 5th of the season from John McCarthy and Rourke Chartier.
That was in the third.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong period. That's what I get for looking at the wrong thing, folks. In fact, Alex True gets his 10th of the year at 128 early on. That was a power play goal.
Yeah, good passing play, just a lot of good puck movement. The Barracuda power play entered this literal home and home against Cleveland as the 30th, aka worst ranked power play in the AHL. And over these 2 games, they scored 3 power play goals. You want to talk about the Sharks having power play woes, and the Barracuda, same thing. But great movement all around. Balsers behind the net, got it out to True, who put it, from what I heard, and I say heard because I just saw him shoot. He was at the far end. But I guess he beat Jeff Zatkoff on the blocker side, and we'll get to the glove side here shortly. But he beat him on the blocker side for a power play goal.
That was his 10th of the season from what did I say again?
Rudolph Balsers and
Rourke Chartier.
Wait, what?
No, I'm looking at. I'm sorry, Rudolph Balsers and Nick DeSimone. My apologies. Oh boy, it's gonna kill me later. But then you had some, you had a boarding call from Turcoff.
That was a bad hit too. That hit by Turcoff was bad. It was only a 2-minute hit, but that was a bad hit.
Yeah, and then Zach Fry takes a slashing call. Gerby takes a slashing call, and then the infamous too much man maybe too much monster on
I
the
got it.
ice.
If I could interject on that, too many men. I tweeted about this earlier at Kevin Lacey 22. I tweeted that the too many men was so obvious.
How obvious was it?
It was so obvious that DJ Chris from Sound and Motion, the guy doing the audio, immediately played the Barracuda power play song as soon as the whistle hit. They made no announcement. It was just straight into the Barracuda song. It was that bad of a too many men. Come on, monsters.
Now, if you want to know why I'm goofing up on all the stuff here, it's because yours truly was stuck without AHL Live for a majority of the second period. So I didn't get to see much of this. So, Kevin, I'll ask you, what the heck happened on the boarding major to
so Cale Kessie just was recalled from the ECHL by the Cleveland Monsters. And for those of you who do follow the Barracuda often, Cale Kessie is kind of a pain in the butt. He's a goon. He's a typical minor league goon. He played on Bakersfield in the Edmonton system the last couple of years. Cale Kessie just came in with a leaping check.
Oh, geez.
Jumped off the ice and drilled little 135-pound Manny Viederer. Okay, he's not that small. He's not Nathan Gerby size, but Viederer is about $170 and just got annihilated into the boards. It was about as bad as the Haluka hit last night, and thankfully Viederer was okay, which we'll get to. But yeah, Cale Kessie got a 5-minute major for boarding. Somehow didn't get ejected, but I would imagine he will see a suspension here in the next couple of days. The AHL Department of Safety usually gets it right with the suspensions. I'll leave it at that.
Well, that's good to hear. Now, if it can update everybody on AHL Live and make it work and have better than 240p, that'd be awesome. So the Cuda would go into the locker room up 1-0 on with just the
3:23 left in that major penalty going into the third.
Right. So they had that going on, and so they kept going with the power play into the third period. And what did you take from their power play? Because it didn't seem like it was clicking too much.
It's a good call, Eric, because actually their worst power play was probably the 5-minute power play. I was pretty concerned that, because head coach of the Monsters, John Madden, hey, it's John Madden. I mean, like the former New Jersey Devil, John Madden. I imagine, would have ripped his team a new one during second intermission, because the Barracuda the Monsters tried to play physical, and the Barracuda were just giving it right back to them. Like they were great. But the Barracuda had a chance to lose the momentum if they did not score on that they didn't score on that power play. But it was one of those things that the Monsters could have gotten momentum off of that after being flat in the second. They could have gotten momentum back, and the Barracuda could have been in trouble in the third. However,
now, Viederer scores just as the penalty expired. It makes it 2-0 Barracuda. Chartier and McCarthy on the assist this one, as Viederer was left wide open in the slot there. Nice play, working around. That's some good communication out there, and good way to get open. Sharks take note on that one. Just that was looking good. 2-0. Things looked really good. In fact, we thought that the Barracuda might have scored their third goal right away.
Oh man!
But we're like, no, it didn't go. So it was.
I'm glad you mentioned that. So since I was sitting right behind the goal, this is why video goal judges still need to be behind the goals, folks.
Right.
Since I was behind the net, I saw clear as day the puck did not cross the line. After the Viederer scored his goal, And then there was a scramble in front, which Elaine, who was tweeting from the Monsters perspective, she said, "What's wrong with this picture?" And you had 3 Monsters in the crease, and Jeff Satkoff was out. I don't know if he had decided to go for a pee break, but he's nowhere to be found. And Doyle Sommerby, just in the scramble, happened to step on the puck as it was on the line and then just flung it out soccer style. And Rourke Chartier was really upset, saying it adamant. It went in. Right. No, it didn't. But
yeah, it's so close. It's like hanging on the line. I forget what game it was that the Sharks had it, where Burnsy essentially saved the game. I think it was St. Louis. Right. It was that he had that craziness there. But not too long after that, Rudolph Balcers gets his 16th of the season. Great shot, beats Zakhoff like a rented mule, makes it 3-0 Barracuda. Gentry's been really excited about him. I know you guys have been pretty good about him. He would be like the killer bees, I guess, for the Sharks if he comes into if the Barracuda don't. Wow, why I'm messing up on everything tonight. Wow. But if the Barracuda don't make the playoffs, this guy's going to be with the team, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think that is a good call. Oh man, here I go with but
Ian will be proud of you.
Right. I really feel like Balcers needs to stay in the AHL for the full season. He's had a couple of call-ups, but he hasn't played for the Sharks yet. I have no problem, though, once the season is over, of him getting called up, because as I've mentioned with the Dylan Gambrell rumors coming over and joining the Sharks after the Frozen Four, or however far Denver goes in the playoffs, and if he signs, I don't have a problem with the Black Ace philosophy of having your prize prospects learning about NHL life during the playoffs. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think it's a good call. And Balcer's shot was very nice, but this is why, if you ever watch me on Teal Tinted Glasses, why I always rip on Jeff Zatkoff. His glove hand is so atrocious. It's just awful. And he just seems to lose control once it beats his glove. And Balcer's just with a simple wrist shot, and Zatkoff's like, "Oh, that's right, I'm supposed to catch this. Whoops."
Rob Iman in the chat, fact or fiction, and this kind of goes pretty much what you just said. Balcers will be on the Sharks roster next season.
At some point.
Yeah, I think he'll be kind of like what Sorensen's been, where he's been up and down, but not like right off the bat. I mean, no doubt this kid looks pretty solid so far, but like you said, maybe a little more seasoning with the Cuda would be pretty good.
Yeah, you don't want to over ripen guys like some of the Detroit Red Wings prospects have been in Grand Rapids. But you don't want to bring them up too early and have a Gilbert Brûlé situation or Mirko Mueller, situation.
I was just going to say Mirko on that. But to finish up the scoring, Emerson Clark gets it from a nice rebound. Well, not really rebound, but loose puck. He pokes it in, finishes it off. It's a pizza goal. Well, not really, but it was the 4th goal for the Barracuda for San Jose team. Go with me here.
The Barracuda faithful that I sit with, when it was 3-0, just before they made it 4-0, they were doing Pete's. Oh, that was pretty funny.
Nice. Oh man, that pretty much finished up the scoring. We did have a fighting major.
See, that's what Emerson Clark usually does. The goal came out of nowhere. The fight was like, okay.
Yeah, he had a rough and a fight with Zach Dalpe. They each got 2 and 5, and pretty much their night were done. They got the water going. But Antoine Bibeau, 23 saves, another shutout for him, and he's played pretty solid hockey since since he became a Barracuda. And I mean, we remember we were talking about how Troy Grosnick was the AHL goalie of the year, and he off-seeded him. Now, granted, Grosnick had some injury issues this season as well, but Bibeau taking advantage of it.
Well, Antoine Bibeau has really been public about crediting former Shark and current Barracuda goalie coach Evgeny Nabokov and redefining his game. We saw that last year with Troy Grosnick, where he went, and I don't remember the name of the goalie coach he saw, but Troy Grosnick really spent the summer working on his fundamentals and refocusing and all that. Antoine Bibeau spent the summer with Evgeny Nabokov and has been working with him on a daily basis. I mean, as a goalie coach should, but right. But Antoine Bibeau has said that he has learned things. In fact, he said this back in December after only 2 months of the regular season going on, said he's learned more about goaltending from Evgeny Nabokov than he had his whole career before that. And you're seeing
wow.
it pay dividends. Yeah, it's crazy, right?
That's unbelievable. That's huge praise.
Yeah.
And of course, today is the 16th anniversary of Nabby scoring. I think it's still the only power play goal scored by a goalie in NHL history.
Huh.
So, yeah, he did.
There's an interesting thing we're going to bring up later on about.
Really?
Yeah, something relating to that Evgeny Nabokov goal. That's funny.
We'll be looking forward to that. Now,
while you still stay tuned for that, please subscribe down below.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So now we got to talk about the atmosphere. Of course, the Sharks played. They lost 2-0. It was a frustrating game and everything. Of course, they had the jersey giveaway that you had with you tonight. It looked like that was very popular.
The jersey?
The jersey.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I saw all over the place that it was, it was being worn all over with the game tonight. So I posted this on our Teal Town USA Twitter, and you could make a case for any of them, but my question was, if I can pull it up here, maybe, was what color should the Barracuda primary dark jersey be? And we had over 54 votes or 53 votes. And so we thank you all for that. Why can I get that over there? There we go. And I was going to say, of course, I'm biased towards teal, so of course that's me. But
we are Teal Town USA,
right. And I think, what color should the Barracuda's primary dark jersey? 58% say teal, and it was a tie. 21% for each orange and black, which I found quite interesting. Now, Patricia is an old schooler, and so that's where.
We had a little exchange on.
Yeah, going. Why would orange be a possibility? And she does make a good point. It's like it's Teal Town, and I get that. It's, but orange has really become the teal, or has become the color for the Barracuda, just because I think it's unique to the Barracuda.
Exactly. I mean, typically, you can find deals. Thank you, Cuda Phil, by the way. You can find deals scattered about if you look for them for the AHL jerseys, but from the licensed retailers. Well, no, because I got that at a licensed retailer. How do I want to phrase it? Let's just say from the Shark store, from an AHL licensed seller. They sell those jerseys at the same price as NHL jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
So my argument is, yeah, okay, you should have, they should have teal in their jersey at some point in their color scheme because they are the affiliate of the Sharks. But why spend $200 to $300 on a jersey that looks exactly the same when you can just get a Sharks jersey? I mean, yes, there you want to support your minor league teams. I own a San Jose Giants jersey, and it's the same jersey as a San Francisco Giants because I love my minor league sports.
Right.
But the casual fan is going to go in mind with, why would I ever buy this teal Barracuda jersey at $300 when I can get a Sharks one at the same price?
Exactly. And I think we brought up another poll question because, of course, I'm the jersey and logo geek of Teal Sound USA, about would you want the Barracuda to look exactly the same as the Sharks do? And I believe that there was a majority that was no. And Jerry F kind of mentions that in the chat. It's like, I like the teal since I'm a diehard Sharks fan, but many of these AHL jerseys, teams jerseys, look way too close to the NHL jerseys.
Yeah.
And Brian DeFalva, I like what the Gulls have done with their jerseys, where it's not too different from the Ducks, but it's an altered color scheme. And I kind of like that too.
Me too.
You know, where maybe you do add a little more scotch of an orange, or you put more black to it, and that way you go, oh wow, that's pretty cool too. Maybe I'll get that one and the Sharks one. That being said, there are rampant rumors saying that the Barracuda will have new uniforms next year.
Well, the license with CCM expires after this season. And nothing has been made official, although it does sound like they may be renewing that. I'm not 100% on that. But I do know that there will be some sort of new jersey for the Barracuda next year. And it appears that it will be a different logo, or somewhat different logo.
Yeah.
It'll be what's behind me.
Yeah, look, and they've been transitioning more and more to that SJ with the Barracuda in front of it, which I think is pretty solid as it is.
Oh, great. It would be great.
Yeah, I would think it would be awesome. What did you think of the black jerseys? I guess it was an ode to Black Armor is what they were going for tonight.
Yeah. I liked the jerseys overall. The numbers threw me off just because when the Barracuda have had specialty jerseys, for the most part, it's always been the same number kit, just with different colors or whatever. So the really thin numbers on the jerseys was a little different, but I liked it. And I thought just overall, it looked good. I mean, hey, the fans came out for a black jersey and they wore it. So obviously the fans were behind it. So, yeah. I think it was an overall success. And Eric, did the Barracuda win last year when you designed the black jersey?
Yes, they did. So they are 2-0.
2-0 black franchise wearing black jerseys. So
in that in part is why I brought up this question, is because they are undefeated in them. So and I will say this, they have gotten shutouts in both times that they've worn.
I thought black. So. Okay.
Grosnick had a shutout in that one as well. So what was funny is that they even had a lot of press photos from that came out later in the year. I think.
Yeah. When O'Regan and Grosnick won their respective awards last season, the shots that the AHL used were from the one game that the Barracuda wore black.
Exactly. So it's crazy. But, you know, this is a nice, simple look. And like I said, while it is essentially the same look as Black Armor, there's that teal striping on there is way more noticeable.
Definitely.
than when the Sharks wore it. So Annie Yoder, I want to thank you for these pictures that you sent me. These are freaking awesome.
Great job, Annie. Yeah, those are great. Hey, look at Michael Brodzinski there.
and it looked pretty solid. I think if you can have more teal in a black jersey, that would be a cool black jersey. I know there's you're only allowed one alternate in the NHL. Is the same for the AHL? not to have that
Well,
specialty variety, if you know what I mean.
yes and no. I mean, they have so many specialty nights that I don't even really think there's it's an anything goes. I think sorry, I'm trying to speak and chew at the same time here.
Sorry.
So in the AHL, and it's been like this for like 3 or 4 years. The home team wears white in the first half of the season, and then at the halfway mark, they switch to the dark jersey in the second half of the season. So they're very sales heavy as far as trying to market as many jerseys to the home crowd as they can. So I don't really think there's a rule on the number of jerseys a team can have. I think the Monsters 2 years ago when they went to the Calder Cup final, I think they had a set of 4 regular jerseys actually. So
nice. And of course, the next time this happens where the Sharks play in the afternoon and the Barracuda play at night, I know as a 90s geek like me, you're stoked about this one, Kevin. The Legends of the Hidden Temple jerseys. God. I mean, if you ever watch that game show on Nickelodeon, you know what this is all about.
And the Blue Barracuda, I have had friendly arguments with one of my best friends for years, like 10 years, about who's better, the Blue Barracudas or the Silver Snakes. And I've always defended the Blue Barracudas. So the fact that they're doing this, yes.
All I ask is for somebody to be posed as Omek to drop the puck before the game.
I think what I'm going to do, actually, because I know you've seen it, Eric, a couple years ago privately, I released a video of my own attempt at the temple, at Olmec's temple. And nice. I think I'm going to post that publicly here the week of that game. Just because it's amusing. I amused myself with that. So, yeah, I'm totally on board with this promotion. It's great.
Yeah. And Brian DeFava is saying that's right. They have they have 5 jerseys in Cleveland. They have the black, white, the Cavs-esque yellow, and then the ones that look like the Columbus Blue Jackets, home and away.
Oh, so, that's right. They do.
So, wow, that's crazy. That is crazy. Rob Ivan wants to know how bad were the ice conditions tonight, and that's funny because Angie 6666, that's 4 6s. So I didn't get to the game out with my son, but so the Cuda did well on ice after a Sharks game. Yet the excuse last week was Sharks didn't do the same, right?
Yeah. You know, in the second period, there's another In the second period, I did notice Brian, who's been in the chat, we both noticed that the ice was kind of crappy there in the second. So a lot of players falling down. But I only noticed that in the second. In the third period, I didn't really notice the ice conditions playing into the game. I thought overall it was fine. I would say for those who don't like the ice, and I'll throw this to you, Eric, what your opinion is. I prefer from a marketing standpoint, and I spoke with John Totora about this on the concourse this evening, and he said they are going to go for more of these, having the Sharks be the first game of a double header. And because you always hear, there's another You always hear about the people complaining on the ice, and you use it as an excuse for Sharks losing the second game of a doubleheader at SAP Center. And the easiest way to combat that is have the Sharks play the first game and have the best ice conditions. But at the same time, you get nights like tonight where the people stick around for the second game.
Yeah.
You don't have to always have a black jersey. But still, even on just a regular Saturday or Sunday where there's a double hitter, when it's a second game, there's always a more attendance for the Barracuda. So what do you think? Eric, do you want more afternoon games for the Sharks, even though it's kind of weird having afternoon games for the Sharks?
While it's weird to have afternoon games, it totally makes sense to do this. And this is where if you market it right, you have a family pack for that that Sharks game, and then you have like a special giveaway. And yeah, you don't have to have it be a jersey, although I'm pretty sure that helped tonight's game for the Barracuda.
Oh, for sure.
But I mean, you have some fancy giveaway. This is where, and I've heard the complaints about, well, why don't we have a Barracuda player as the bobblehead? Why are we going with Vlasic and whoever?
That thing is just not enough people follow the Barracuda. Not that the interest isn't there, as tonight proved.
Exactly.
But not enough people regularly follow the Barracuda to know who, like if they get a bobblehead, they go, who is this guy?
Yeah. And Jerry Heff, you hit it right on the head. And this was something I was trying to get the Sharks to do for social media day and night, and was trying to do it on the 24th. And so Maria Brandon, who we love her to death. There was, we were thinking about an idea of having a package giveaway, or not giveaway, but a package game where you get a ticket to the Sharks game, you get a ticket to the Barracuda game, and then maybe take, a picture at center ice after the Barracuda game. Have it part of that, and maybe give like a puck or something, or just do something like that. Tie it all in. Great job with having the street rally. I think that helps having it out there. So I think that was really solid. I think they're going in the right direction with it. Now, granted, and like Rob Ivan also says in there, I think they should have no Sharkcuda doubleheaders next season. I don't think you need to have them all the time. I think a few, and I think you time it right when kids might have that 3-day weekend or on winter break or on spring break. I think that would be huge for the Barracuda, because let's be real here. There really isn't a lot of marketing, Kevin, with this, because it just seems like I think it's just really word of mouth of hockey fans who already know the Barracuda. I mean, like, you don't see anything on NBC Sports California unless somebody gets called up from the Barracuda in that sense. So
when last year I wrote an article for back when we were Pucknology about this exact topic, and as the season wore on, you did start to see more marketing for the team, more reference. One of my big sticking points was, if this is a Sharks team, I understand if they're in Worcester, why would you really talk about the Worcester Sharks regularly on the Sharks broadcast? Because that's not a local thing for us. But with the Barracuda in town, why are there no advertisements for games? Why is there no mention that this team even exists on your broadcast? Yeah. And the Sharks did a good job of rectifying that to a point, but excuse me, I have noticed over the second half of this season, though, it has been moving away from that, and it's sad. So I don't know if it's just a higher reliance on social media. Social media, please subscribe. But I think there's still a lot of big steps that can be made. As I said, the interest was there. 8,000 fans in the building for an AHL hockey game is proof that people will come out. You just have to find the right mix. And that really starts with just promoting the team. Not enough people know there's a minor league hockey team that plays. First question out of the mouth when I say, I'm going to the Barracuda game. Who's that?
Right.
Oh, it's the Sharks minor league team. Oh, where do they play?
Yep.
You got to answer. The Sharks and the Barracuda have to answer those questions themselves. They cannot rely on the fans for that.
Right. I completely 220% agree. And the logistics are tough, but Jerry F., I agree with you. NBC Sports California should show CUDA games if there are no Sharks, Warriors, or Sacramento Kings games on. And I get it. The logistics are tough for that. But granted that there is no there really isn't much college sports on regional sports networks anymore. It's all gone to whether it's Pac-12 network or whatever. Um, and you have the spots open, and with the cameras there, you can have it. Now, granted, who would you get to do play-by-play? I can't see Randy or Dan doing it.
Well, they have Nick Nolenberger. He does the radio. In fact, what you see a lot of the time with the AHL teams that do show their games on local television, most of those are back east. In fact, pretty much all of them are back east, outside of, I think, San Diego does show locally, is they have a simulcast. They show the game on TV, but they use the radio commentary for it.
Yeah.
That's what AHL Live even does.
Right, and you could totally do that too. Brian saying I think they should do it on a local station like Coffee or KICU.
KICU.
That'd be.
I know. I'm not saying it just because they used to show Sharks games. I mean,
no, that's a perfect one. Also the San Jose Giants are on Comcast Hometown Network. I think that was also where the Bulls did it too. They were on the Comcast Hometown Network too when they had their games on, and the Bulls were on a lot of things. Like Jerry F says, how many times can you watch Happy Hour? Yeah, no,
they don't even need to show the Barracuda games. Excuse me. Say they could actually show the games on Comcast Sportsnet Maine. NBC Sportsnet Maine. They don't have to necessarily show them live. Sure, that sucks for the hardcore fans of this team, but 1 a.m, 2 a.m, people may not stay up, but they could at least record it. That's what a DVR is for,
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. And I wonder if maybe the Sharks try to talk to NBC Sports Bay Area or California about getting that included into their next TV deal. Because let's be real here, I can't see them trying to start their own regional sports network. I just think that's almost impossible for them. And it goes till 2023, so they have about 5 years to go before their deal ends with them. So in Felix says it would also greatly improve the hockey exposure in the Bay Area. And were you at the Sharks game earlier today?
I was not. I was thinking about it, but it didn't. It made for a very interesting trip up there, watching Sharks fans leaving the building as I'm showing up in my Barracuda jersey. Like, where are you going?
Awkward.
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
I asked this because Brody brought on something that I thought was really, really cool. And we mentioned that tonight or today during Teal Town After Dark, and it was a NorCal hockey bucket list. And he had a list of things that he would like to see in Northern California in his lifetime. Of course, the first locally born NHL star. This is where the parentheses. Austin Matthews technically doesn't count, nor Brooks Orpik. Cal and Stanford are part of the Pac-12 with 6 D1 hockey programs in the Pac-12. Multiple places to watch hockey. I think that's the biggest one. I think would be the thing, because
I think that's most relatable for this situation too.
Yeah, because I can't just always go down to Stanley's in San Jose.
Yeah.
And major ice facilities and youth programs in every Bay Area county, and you pretty much have almost all of that, with the exception, I think, of Marin and Contra Costa County. I think everybody else does have a rink of some sort in their county. And of course, the one that we always love, although when I was told Chris this, he's like, well, we did have one already, a parade in San Jose.
We did?
In 1994, the Sharks held a parade and rally after they made their first playoff run.
Oh.
Yes. We got eliminated by Toronto. Let's have a parade. So, But
but yeah, San Jose was not the city that it is now, though, at that time as well.
yeah,
So
that's very, very true. But what do you think of those, and what would you add on to that list? That
media coverage for me easily.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Brody has posted because his thoughts are his own and his Twitter is his own.
Mm-hmm.
He has said that he wants a better media, more media outlets to cover hockey. Yeah. And I completely agree. He didn't list this in this for obvious reasons. But
yeah,
tonight on NBC 11, the Bay Area Network, I don't think we'll even see Sharks highlights against the Caps. We'll probably see more spring training baseball highlights because that matters. And I'm a baseball fan, and I say spring training matters. You'll see more of that than you will Sharks coverage. The radio shows, sports shows, even 95.7 The Game, barely a blip about hockey, about the Sharks. That's why we have shows like Teal Town USA.
Right.
But you need to be able to get it mainstream. Like the NHL's the fourth best league or the fourth place league in North America. That's not good enough. Why don't you strive for more? Like, no, I don't know. What about you, Eric? What do you think?
I agree. I completely agree with you on that. I think the media coverage has been blasé, and Brody is on our side in that sense, that there needs to be more exposure. And the thing is that who do you put it on? Do you put it on the media outlets? Do you put it on where the team is located? And I think the thing I say that is because it is a drive for everybody but NBC Bay Area to get to the arena for a game.
True. Although ABC 7 has a headquarters in San Jose.
Right. And you know what? Mike Schumann, great guy. It's just crazy. But Sleepy Mofo, KBR interviewed Pabs yesterday and said it's rare to have you on.
Why is that? Fix that. If to make a comment like that.
And the thing is that KBR, I believe, still has a minor interest with the Giants, or minor ownership with the Giants. 95.7 has the Warriors. They're going to have. Oh man, Rob Iman, ABC 7 should have a puck impact scale. Yeah, no, that's the thing. Vince
says Channel 2 is the only one that tries, and that's true. Mm-hmm. It is true. And Frank Somerville's a big Sharks fan for one, so I think that's part of it.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, when I wake up in the morning, I tune into Channel 2. Mm-hmm. Cheap plug, I guess, for them. Hey.
Yeah, right.
But I tune into mornings on 2 before I go to work. But one of the things I like is they do show briefly, but they do show Sharks highlights on there. Mm-hmm. And that Fox is not the Sharks network.
Exactly. It's NBC. And the funny thing is that it's NBC Sports California that has the Sharks teams. It's NBC Bay Area that has the local station for the national Sharks broadcasts or national NHL broadcasts. It's crazy. Frank Somerville, he played in that alumni game at FanFest, for crying out loud. I think also, and if you look for it, I believe Scott Reese did it 2 years ago when the Sharks and Warriors were simultaneously in the Western Conference Final, how they were getting so much different fanfare. And it was quite interesting to have that come out, because that was really the big thing. And I think Scott, who did Sharks pregame and postgame live for so many years before Brody took it over, and Scott, did, I think, like Stanford and stuff. it's great to have those allies there because they know and they've seen it and everything. I remember, I think it was after Game 7 against Nashville when all the media came in and Jumbo said on camera, "What the F?
Yeah.
Where the F did you guys all come from?"
Yeah.
And Bernsey says, "Oh, now they're finally showing up." So
yeah, it trickles down to the players too. I mean,
yeah. And Felix, saying that Gary Radnich hates hockey. He actually said that the first year the Sharks were in as a promo for Cron 4. And the funny thing is that Mike Holler, who is his producer on the Gary and Larry show, is the press box. I forget what his actual title is the press box manager for the Sharks. I mean, he's the main producer for Gary and Larry. He's also he also does the stuff for 49ers games. That's right. He's the San Jose Sharks press box announcer, Mike Holler. It's ridiculous. It's like there's people there that give crap about hockey, but they're at times they're just like, I don't care. I mean, shoot, the Quakes get more exposure on KMBR. And my good friend Ted Rainey doesn't even have his regular show anymore, and he still is able to get the word out for Earthquake Soccer.
And the big underlying thing, or the thing that everyone says in that realm, is, the people don't care about hockey. That's why we don't show it. As with anything, you need to make them want to like it. People don't watch TV shows, a brand new TV show, and go, I've never seen this before. I don't watch it, whatever. Nothing will ever get viewership if people have that mentality. Right. So you have to at least give it a chance.
Yeah.
Give it a chance. And if it doesn't work, you wait a few years and you try it again.
Yeah.
Hockey's not going away, thankfully.
No. Unless we have another lockout that cancels.
Oh, okay. Hockey's
that might
going away, asterisk. But I do want to mention something because we've kind of got a little out there.
Sorry about
Chris,
that.
But no, that's okay. Chris JWS mentioned this, though, is that the Sharks can't promote the Barracuda too much. Otherwise, they start taking away from their own revenue, even though, yes, it's all in-house money. But the bottom line is the Sharks are going to make more money than the Barracuda. And if it's the flip, then there's a serious problem. So, and it's an excellent point because the Sharks do have attendance issues. And so they can't promote too much. But if the Barracuda are here and they're here to stay, then you have to get that word out there that they're in existence. Oh, yeah,
I completely agree. Like the guys are saying, just imagine if like guys like Austin Matthews or Connor McDavid or Sidney Crosby were like brought in at the trade deadline.
What is one of the big things you always hear about the Giants is their homegrown talent.
Mm-hmm.
It is so awesome for me to be able to say I saw Buster Posey and Madison Bumgarner play on the 2009 San Jose Giants. How awesome would it be to say I saw Logan Couture when he was on the Worcester Sharks?
Mm-hmm.
It's give them a there are reasons for people to come to games. You have the Sharks and Barracuda have to tap into that. Yeah. I mean, hey, Rudolph Balcers, Gentry you mentioned is super high on him.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, a lot of people will say, I remember when I saw Rudolph Balcers score that goal on Jeff Zatkoff.
Exactly. And it's just you hope a night like tonight gets the ball rolling for the Barracuda.
Exactly. Yep.
And I think that's why we wanted to do this show tonight, because I think we knew that there was going to be a good turnout. We knew that there's going to be a buzz coming, and we hope that's going to be the case. Just like Jerry F, I didn't know you were in San Diego, but here in San Diego with the Chargers gone, the Gulls have done a great job at getting people going to games. They outdo the Carolina Hurricanes on some nights. Oh man,
San Diego, yeah, the Gulls draw great. I know a few episodes ago, I think there was, the expansion talk where could the NHL expand, and San Diego, it was, they won't draw. And honestly, San Diego is just not that type of town, but they do draw great for the Gulls.
Mm-hmm. It also helps that they've made sure that all these teams are somewhat close to their parent club. So San Diego's maybe 2 hours from Anaheim on a good day.
Yeah.
You always have that nearby to actually see them grow up,
Exactly. That's what all the Tucson is 2 hours from Phoenix or Glendale or whatever, Ontario, I think, is an hour from Los Angeles, somewhere around that.
Mm-hmm.
San Diego is 90 minutes from Anaheim. San Jose and San Jose play in the same building.
Yeah.
Next year, you're going to see the Colorado Avalanche and the Colorado Eagles only an hour and a half away from each other. The Stars, Texas Stars, Dallas Stars, the same thing. It's 2 hours away. I mean, close proximity.
Yep. I completely agree. And Kelsey, hi Kelsey. They draw crowds in San Diego big time. And that's where it can kind of hurt the Sharks a little bit, because it is crowded sports area here in the Bay Area. I mean, we throw in the college teams and it gets really crowded. So there was some stuff that you wanted to touch on earlier that I think we kind of set aside for.
I was going to say, wow, we really went out there on that topic, but thanks for mentioning it, guys.
Yeah, no kidding. So you had some stuff you wanted to mention too.
Was it the AHL scores? I don't even remember at this point.
Yeah.
Because Evgeny Nabokov scored.
Oh yeah, that's the one. I think it was
Evgeny Nabokov's anniversary of his goal, and we had a goal scored by a goalie tonight in Charlotte.
Oh, really?
Yes.
All right, it's time for the AHL wraparound with Kevin Lacey.
Oh crap! Part of the AHL wraparound is I should have the scores loaded up, but in the meantime,
I'll say this.
What's up?
I'll say this while you load that up.
Oh no, I have it. But
I was gonna say, the U.S. Paralympic hockey team won their first game tonight.
Oh, awesome! That's right.
So go Team USA.
Yes, go USA, go get them, as they said in Mighty Ducks 2. So I do know that Alex Nedeljkovic scored for the Charlotte Checkers, and the craziest thing about this is he scored last year for the Carolina Hurricanes ECHL team. So he now apparently is one of those guys who's going to have a reputation of, watch out, he might score a goal on you on your empty net. The Hartford Wolfpack, who are struggling, the fact that they're in the playoff picture this year is leaps and bounds over where they are usually. But they really took a beating from the Charlotte Checkers this weekend, and they lost 7-3, including that goal from Nedeljkovic. So 7-3, that's bad. But on the bright side, Matt Bolesky scored for Hartford. So
wow. I'm surprised Bolesky's playing in the minors.
Yeah.
Jeez, but here's the picture of it all, folks. Right down the middle, and the place went nuts. You gotta love that.
And I mentioned it on last night's show. The Charlotte Checkers have the best goal and goal song in the AHL. So, oh my, that thing must have been just rocking that place. Bojangles Coliseum must have been rocking.
Mr. Bojangles.
You want to do the rest of the scores? You want me to do it?
We can go back and forth. If you got the same page up, we'll do it. The Marlies beat the Providence Bruins 4-3.
Two goals from Colby Cave in the losing effort there for the Bruins. But hey, Ben Smith got an empty net goal there for. Oh no, I'm sorry. Ben Smith got the winning goal with 50 seconds left.
Nice.
So
former Shark Alert and Marchment. Is that the former Barracuda Marchment?
It is not. It is Brian Marchment's actual son, Mason Marchment. Jake Marchment was only his nephew, but Mason Marchment is Brian Marchment's. Said Brad Marchant. Brian Marchment's son. So
gotcha. Yep. And as we mentioned earlier, the Charlotte Checkers beat the Hartford Wolfpack 7-3. Of course, Jelovic with the empty net. I can't believe they pulled their goalie down 3.
Well, like I said, Hartford's really trying to gain some ground in the playoff picture. Only the first 4 teams in each division make the playoffs. So Hartford, I believe, is sitting in 5th last time I checked. So
gotcha.
But that tonight, this weekend hurt them bad.
And they probably feel bad as hockey.
Oh, they're sitting in 7th. Well, then they're really feeling bad.
Wow, that's not good. That's not good at all. In Laval, the Laval Rocket defeated the Belleville Senators.
No, they
lost. I'm sorry, the Laval Rocket lost to the Belleville Senators. Yeah, I know. My eyes are working fine today, folks. I swear. Belleville beats Laval 5-3. Kirby Reichel with the goal as the Laval Rockets started out with 3 goals in the first period.
Yep.
And then they just decided to fall apart.
That sounds like the typical Montreal organizational thing. Zut alors, we are up by 3. Let's mail in the rest of the game.
Let's get to Boudin. Apologize to all Quebecers out there. A final in the shootout?
Shootout. Milwaukee beat the Rockford Ice Hogs 2-1. I believe Milwaukee won last night as well, so they win that doubleheader there, or back-to-back. 2-1. I don't know. Those are the types of games that there's not much to say about.
Sounds like
without watching anyway.
Sounds like Thursday night for the Sharks and Blues.
Yeah.
In Syracuse at the War Memorial, the Crunch take out the Rochester Americans 4-2. We have a former Shark Alert, Taylor Fadoon, scored for the Rochester Americans, but it was not enough for the 3-goal onslaught by the Syracuse Crunch. There.
Yes. And the Syracuse Crunch, who lost to the Hershey Bears last night, they win again, the Crunch do. However, they won, but Hershey Bears lost. They got shut out by the Binghamton Devils 3-0 with Tim Kennedy scoring for Binghamton, as well as Bracken Kearns.
Wow.
So, and then Kevin Rooney, but two former Sharks there. Tim Kennedy and Bracken Kearns.
Release the Bracken. Nice. In Springfield, the Florida Panthers affiliate, Springfield Thunderbirds shut out the Utica Comets, the AHL affiliate of the Vancouver Canucks. 4-0 there. Don't call me Richard Grieco. Got the game-winning goal.
Anthony Greco.
Halfway through the first period, as Springfield goes to 28-28, 4-1.
Then we've got I kind of want you to do this game because I want to do the next one.
Oh, gotcha. You're fine. All right. Wilkes-Barre Scranton beats the defending Calder Cup champion Grand Rapids Griffins 2-1. Johnson. Oh, jeez. Thank goodness Jennifer's watching tonight. Susman.
So I hate to tell you, but it's Andreas Janssen. No, I'm sorry. That's Toronto's guy. That's Adam Johnson. Never mind. It's Churchman, Kevin Churchman. I know.
Churchman?
It's like Brett Favre. It makes no sense, but it's Churchman.
It's like Kura in a sense, for crying out loud.
CZUCZMAN. Naturally, that's churchman. But it is.
Okay, sure. All right, go on.
All right, so last there's another but last night I was talking about how the Bridgeport Sound Tigers were hosed out of a playoff spot as the 5th best team in the Eastern Conference because the top 4 teams in each division make the playoffs. Bridgeport's still sitting in 5th again this season, and they did not help their cause. They lost 4-1 to the Lehigh Valley Phantoms. Greg Carey had 2 goals for the Phantoms, and they are just flying. The Phantoms are a team that is well covered in the AHL, so I do read about them regularly, and they sound like a serious contender for the Calder Cup this year. So,
and it seems like the Flyers have always had an affiliate that was always in contention for the Calder Cup.
Yep, so, exactly.
In Chicago, or outside Chicago, actually, the Wolves lose to the Manitoba Moose 2-1. Thanks for refreshing, AHL.
Oh, mine just did that too.
Yeah, I was like, right? It's like just as Hewitt and Patan get goals for the
Manitoba Moose,
and Brandon Peary gets the lone goal for the Wolves in that sense, and Moose have been on a great run too.
Moose might be, I mean, they are the number 1 team in the Western Conference, but they're the number 1 team for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't foresee any team toppling Manitoba, at least out in the West. I'd be shocked if they did not represent the West in the Calder Cup finals.
Could we see a potential double in the peg? The NHL and AHL.
Never know.
You just never know.
Then in divisional action, the Texas Stars, the team that, there's another one. Stop it. I mentioned last night.
You might sue you for copyright infringement.
You're right. I mentioned last night that the Barracuda needed to win 12 of their final 15 games at the current pace that the Texas Stars are on as fourth in the division. The Barracuda got those 2 points tonight. So now they only need to win 11 of their remaining 14 games. Yes. However, the Texas Stars did win. They beat the Tucson Roadrunners 4-3. So the Barracuda need the Stars to start losing at some point, I know it's bleak to begin with, but yeah, 4-3 final out in the desert in Tucson, the TCC. You want to wrap up the scores here with the final one?
Yeah, in Bakersfield, the Condors take down the Gulls 3-2 in overtime. La Legala with the game winner.
La Legia.
If you ever wondered why I never did too many of these Barracuda FDRs, that's part of the reason why. But that's what it was in there. Standings wise, as for the Barracuda, remember, folks, it goes by points percentage in the AHL. So the Barracuda currently sit in 6th.
They jumped over Rampage tonight.
Yeah, so they're at 537. The Heat are at 575. The Stars are the team that they're looking after at 589. So the Barracuda have 58 points on the campaign. Man, that would stink if I don't understand why the Stars have played so many games. Are they on the 70 something game schedule?
So I mentioned it or talked about it. You guys asked about it, why the Pacific Division only plays 68 games. Not all the Pacific Division teams play 68 games. The Texas Stars and the San Antonio Rampage do play a 76 game schedule. And it's just because they geographically work enough being in the central time zone where they can travel to Chicago and Iowa and whatnot and make up some extra games. So that's why the Stars have played 8 more games than the Barracuda.
So that's what I don't understand is why with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, with 6 teams now, essentially, once you count Tucson in the Pacific time zone, why haven't they just stretched it out to 74 for them? Yeah. I mean, is it just because it's travel?
Sorry, say that again. I was looking in the chat.
No, I was just going to say, why haven't they stretched it out now that they have 8 teams in the
Oh,
Pacific?
I'm wondering if next season there's something changed about that, with Tucson now being in the fold, with Colorado being in the fold next year. In fact, there's actually going to be too many teams in the Pacific Division, so there's going to be some big realignment, I think. And when that happens, you might see a 76 game schedule all the way around.
Yeah, and I think that's fair for everybody too.
Yeah. I'd like to see them, especially Royce Sommer, head coach of the Barracuda. He has been very outspoken about the Barracuda schedule at the first part of the year, because those 8 games, they're all just missing from the beginning of the season. Once you get to about December, everyone plays the same amount of games, but the Barracuda typically will play a game or 2 at the start of the year, and then have a week off, and then maybe get a game, and then have another week off. And it's just really unbalanced. So they do need to fix that.
Yeah, I just don't understand it. That's, and points percentage just seems crazy too, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, when are the Barracuda back in action?
So, oh gosh.
Sorry, didn't mean to.
To my knowledge, they're playing on. I know they're playing on Sunday for sure in Ontario. And for anyone who was at the game last night, don't be fooled by what they said on the jumbotron and whatnot. That is a road game in Ontario, so do not buy your tickets unless you're going down there.
Yeah.
I know the next home game is on the 24th, as we mentioned. That is Barracuda Legends of the Hidden Temple night. And why am I not able to find when the next game actually is? Okay, they play Friday in Bakersfield. Hey-o.
And then they also go to Ontario on next Sunday.
Yeah. So Rabobank Arena on Friday night. I've heard wonderful things about that arena down there in Bakersfield.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, that's yeah, no kidding. So,
so
with that,
but again,
wrap this up.
Yeah, great effort by the Barracuda tonight against a team that, on paper, the Monsters should be playing way better than they are. But they, from what I was discussing with Elaine on Twitter throughout the night, the Monsters are a team who really lose their composure very quickly. And we saw that in these 2 games. The Barracuda did a great job of just holding the fort down, eventually taking control of both games, and then just dominating the third period in both games. So tonight, probably the most complete game that Barracuda have played all season. From defense, the goaltending was great, the physicality was awesome, and they got 4 goals. So great work.
Yep, 10 goals on the weekend, and allow only 2. Very nice weekend for them. If they were going to make a run for the playoffs, this is a way to do it, and they won 4 in a row for it. Kevin, final thoughts and where the people can find you?
Well, again, I'm Kevin Lacey, and I've had my lower third up the whole night, which I just realized. So I'm at Kevin Lacey 22. For those of you listening on replay on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, or your favorite podcatcher, thank you for tuning in and for giving us a shot. If you're new to the show, because this is your first Barracuda experience, for example, first off, what a great time to see your first Barracuda game. Please give us a subscription here. Subscribe to us. We won't let you down. We're here after every Sharks game, and we're going to try and do some more Barracuda games here. Hey, maybe we'll even do one after the Legends of the Hidden Temple game. Maybe we'll have Kirk Fogg on the show. Wouldn't that be cool?
That'd be cool.
Maybe I'm reaching there, but
all right. And of course, we'll be back with you following the Sharks and Red Wings on Monday night. So be on the lookout for that. In case you missed anything or you want to watch this again, make sure you hit up tealtownusa.com. Of course, we did a Teal Town After Dark earlier today, recapping the Sharks losing to the Caps 2-0. But definitely check us out. Felix has got a bunch of stuff. Ian's got a bunch of stuff. So enjoy us. Hey, Sharky.
And every now and then, flying dogs will just appear in the screen.
That is Super Sharky to the rescue for sure. So take care. Have a great night. Keep it real. Keep it teal. Keep it real teal. We'll see you on Monday night.